Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be solving the next question from SQL 50 Leetcode, question number 1731, the number of employees which report to each employee. Okay, so here's the question. We have this table employees with these 4 columns, and employee ID is the column with unique values for this table, so it cannot have duplicates. This table contains information about the employees and the ID of the manager they report to. So I'm going to show it to you a little bit what they mean. Some employees do not report to anyone. Reports to is null. So if the reports to is null, it means they do not report to anyone. For this problem, we'll consider a manager and employee who has at least one other employees reporting to them. Write a solution to report the IDs and the names of all managers, the number of employees who directly report to that manager, and the average age of the reports rounded to the nearest integer. Return the result table ordered by employee ID. The result format is in the following example. So here's an example input and an example output. So let me explain how it works. So in this table, we have the information for all employees, and we have a column called reports to, which contains an employee ID of the manager. So let's say employee ID 9 reports to null. So employee ID 9 does not report to anyone. So Hercy does not report to anyone. Then let's look at employee ID number 6, Alice. Alice does report to someone. So the reports to is not null, meaning they report to someone. And they report to employee ID 9. Who is employee ID 9? Is Hercy. And then same thing with Bob. Bob reports to 9. 9 is Hercy. So Alice and Bob both report to Hercy. And then Winston does not report to anyone. So the output will be, we'll have the employee ID. So we'll have the manager ID. The manager ID is 9. So we want all the managers. So what is a manager? A manager is someone who has at least one direct report. So Hercy is a manager because 2 people are reporting to him. And then Winston is not a manager because no one is reporting to Winston. And then similarly, Alice and Bob, no one is reporting to them. So they're just employees, they're not managers. So here we only need managers information. So employee ID, what is it? It's actually the manager's employee ID. So Hercy, employee ID, and then their name. And then how many people report to Hercy? So Alice and Bob both report to Hercy. So count is 2. And then the average age. So average age is this plus this divided by 2. And then we have to round it to the nearest decimal. So let's see here, the average age is 36 plus 41 divided by 2, which is 38.5. So we round it to 39. We do not report 38.5. So this is the question. I hope you understand it now. Okay, so I'm going to come back to our SQL Server Management Studio, where I have already created this table and I'm just selecting from this table. Okay, so let's start writing our query. So what I'm going to do here is, since I have both the employee information and the manager information in the same table, I can just do like a self join. So I can just join the table with itself. So I'm just going to do select all from employees as, and I'm just going to give it an alias. I'm just going to call it E. And then inner join employees table again. And here I'm just going to give it a different alias. I'm just going to call it M for manager. And then what I'm going to join it on, I'm going to join it on E.reports to. So employee, whoever it reports to is actually the employee ID in the manager's table. So this will be equal to M.employee ID. So reports to is equal to employee ID. So Alice and Bob reports to 9. So 9 is actually the employee ID of the manager's table. So that's how we are joining them. Okay, so let me execute it here. So we see information for Alice and Bob. They report to Hercy. Here we are just selecting everything from both the tables. So let's see what exactly do we need now. And here I have the output, like the expected output, so we can easily see what all columns we need. So first we need the employee ID column. We need it actually from the manager's table because that's the manager's employee ID. So we are just going to do m.employee ID. And then the manager's name. So we are going to do m.name. Okay, and then we need the reports count. Okay, first let's just execute it. So we see employee ID is 9. So Hercy is showing here twice. And then here we actually need the count of the employee ID from the employees table. So I'm just going to do count of E.employee ID. So we are just going to call it as reports count. And then finally I need the average age, so I'm just going to do average. And then age, I also need the average age of the employees. I don't need the average age of Hercy. I don't want to add 43 plus 43 divided by 2. No, that's not what I'm doing. So I need the average age of the employee. So I'm just going to get it from the employees table. So e dot age. And we're just going to call it average age. And okay, so we have everything here. And I am going to group it by these two columns because we are using aggregate, so we are going to use the group by. Let's execute it now. Okay, so we see the employee ID of the manager, the name, the report count. So this is perfect. We are getting 2. But here the age is incorrect. We are supposed to get 39 here, not 38. So what we can do here is we can just multiply this by 1.00 to force it to be a decimal. So now we are getting 38.5. So it was rounding it to 38, not 39. So now after multiplying it by 1.00, we force it to be a decimal. So we are seeing all the decimal places. So we are seeing 38.50, but we actually need it to be rounded to the nearest integer. So we need it to be rounded to 39. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to round it to 0 decimal places. So it's rounded to the nearest whole integer. We don't want it to be 38.50. We want it to be 39. So let's execute it now. Now we are getting 39. So hope it makes sense. So that's why we rounded it to 0 decimal places. And finally, we just have to order it by manager's employee ID. So I'm just going to do order by m.employee ID. Let's execute it now. Okay, so this is perfect. I'm just going to copy the solution and I'm going to come back to Leetcode and paste the solution here. And let's execute it now. Run successfully. If you found this helpful, please let me know and subscribe to my channel. And let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you for watching.